great day for Mississippi. I often have time to say that because it has the added advantage of being the truth. Today is indeed a great day. I will be signing House Bill 1, Mr. Speaker, today, the Mississippi Infrastructure Modernization Act. It is time to modernize our bridges, our roads, our infrastructure. The men and women that you see on these steps and many that are standing in this beautiful Capitol today work together in this very extraordinary session. We began last Thursday with a great task. Not only would we take on the challenges of helping fund at $200 million a year roads and bridges, infrastructure throughout the state of Mississippi. Not only would we take on that bill, but we would help fund it with the state lottery. We would then manage the BP funding, not only to the benefit of the Gulf Coast, but to the entire state of Mississippi. Any one of those pieces of legislation would have been historic. Any one of those would have been monumental in helping move this great state forward. The two men I'm about to introduce, along with the men and women of the House of Representatives and the Mississippi Senate, took that challenge upon themselves. This is a remarkable, extraordinary special session. I've been here 25 years. Senator Jordan and I were just talking. He's been here a little longer than I have, and I think he'll be here when I'm gone. Neither one of us have seen such an outcome, such a remarkable opportunity for the people of the state of Mississippi by a bipartisan vote. I think you'll probably hear more about that in just a moment. I won't steal that wonderful line the Lieutenant Governor had, but this is a bipartisan effort. Infrastructures for all the people of the state of Mississippi. I'm going to introduce that Lieutenant Governor just now, that man that helped in the Senate shepherd through the bill that would help fund the Modernization Act, that did a remarkable job of working with his members, giving them each an opportunity to speak, to ask questions, to amend. The great patience both of these men saw this extraordinary session through. Is it perfect? It never is. But as we all know in this building, you don't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. The important part now is we have some 460 bridges that are closed. We will start with those. We will get them open for the safety of the motoring public across the state of Mississippi. The Lieutenant Governor is the presiding officer in the Mississippi Senate. Members refer to him as Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm going to call on you today for a remark from the presiding officer of the Mississippi Senate and the great Lieutenant Governor, my friend, Tate Reeves.
Thank you for being here today. And as I think about this historic moment for the history and for the future of our state, I think it is so telling what those of you who take pictures of these bill signings are going to see standing behind the governor of our state as he signs this bill. And what you're going to see is a bipartisan group of legislators. You see, in today's political environment and in today's society, the press loves to write about conflict. They love to write when the executive branch and the legislative branch may not agree on something. They love to write when the House and the Senate may not agree to something. They love to write when Republicans and Democrats may not agree to something. But when you look at these three historic pieces of legislation that went through both the House and the Senate, in both chambers, bipartisan members put aside their differences and voted to do this. And in the Mississippi Senate, a majority of Republicans voted for all three bills, and a majority of Democrats voted for all three bills. And when I think about this session, I think about the literally 4.5-hour debate when the chairman of transportation in the Senate, Senator Willie Simmons, stood and took question after question and fought off amendment after amendment on various pieces of this legislation. I think about the chairman of appropriations and the chairman of finance, who tag team a bill last night, which I think was something similar that happened in the House. And so what I will tell you is this is a historic moment for our state. We've all admitted for a number of years that we had challenges with our infrastructure needs. And the biggest challenge was figuring out exactly how to pay to solve those issues. What this special session brought was a mechanism that is now put in place that will provide over $200 million a year for infrastructure all over our state. We're going to see projects being done in cities. We're going to see projects being done in counties. We're going to be seeing projects done on state roads. We're going to be seeing projects done on state aid roads. And so I can't tell you enough how excited I am about this moment. And then I'll also say I can't tell you enough how excited I am about getting the third bill done, the BP bill. I took the opportunity several years ago and went to the Mississippi Gulf Coast and had town meetings, hearings in all 3 coastal counties. And I heard from the people of the Gulf Coast, and I heard what their desires were. And so what we have today is a bill, ultimately will be a bill to be signed by the governor, I hope. Since he expanded the call, I feel pretty confident about that. But what we have is a bill that not only meets the needs of the Gulf Coast, but also meets needs all across our state. We recognize the need to do just that, and I couldn't be happier about that. And finally, as I thank Governor Bryant for his leadership, I also want to thank Speaker Gunn and the members of the House of Representatives. You know, at the end of the day, passing legislation is hard. You know what? It's supposed to be hard, because that's the way our founding fathers made it. But what you've seen over the last 6 days in this building is Governor Bryant, Speaker Gunn, and I working together to govern. It's easy to stand up and complain about what's going on. It's a whole different story to actually govern. And working with these 2 fine gentlemen, the culmination of this special session is a culmination that shows that working together, we can govern to do what's right, not for Republicans, to do what's right, not just for Democrats, but to do what's right for all Mississippians. So I want to personally thank Speaker Gunn and every member of the House of Representatives for joining those of us on the Senate side of this building to do what's right for all Mississippians. Thank y'all.
I hope you're not in too big a hurry, because we're going to enjoy a little bit of that. The psalmist once wrote that a strong man will be as a tree standing by the stream. He will be strong against adversity, and his land will prosper. And psalmist must have been thinking about Philip Gunn when he wrote that. I listened to the debate on the House floor. Mr. Speaker, bless your heart. He has the patience of Job. The members, rightfully so, have questions, and debate rages on. That this man stands as that tree by the stream, strong against adversity, and his land is prospering. Ladies and gentlemen, the great leader, presiding officer of the House of Representatives, Philip Gunn.
Thank you, Governor, for those kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, we stood here 5 days ago and told you what we were going to do. And today we are here to celebrate what we have done. Over the last 5 days, we have taken on some very large tasks, and we are happy today to be able to stand here and tell you that those tasks have been resolved. The winners today are the citizens of the state of Mississippi. We can stand up here and talk about the great things that have happened over the last 5 days, but when it comes down to the bottom line, the citizens of this state are the ones who are the winners today. Our citizens are going to begin to immediately see the benefits of the legislation that we've passed over the last 5 days. This bill particularly, House Bill 1, which is our road and infrastructure bill. Citizens are going to begin to immediately see improvements in their roads, improvements in their water systems, bridges be repaired. The needs of this state are going to be met, and those people are the true winners today. I am proud of the work that this body, this legislature has done over the last 5 days. I too want to congratulate the governor and thank him for his leadership, thank him for his involvement in this process. I want to thank the lieutenant governor for working with me and my office to come together, to find agreement, to find common ground so that we can get these pieces of legislation passed. But the real congratulations goes to the men and women on these steps, the senators in the Senate, the representatives in the House, who did come together in a bipartisan fashion. All you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is look at the roll call votes. You will see that all of these pieces of legislation passed with overwhelming support from people from both sides of the aisle. It has been a pleasure to work over these last few days with all members of the legislature to get these things passed. It's a great day to celebrate, and I want to thank them for the hard work that they did. I know the Lieutenant Governor pointed out those in his chamber who worked hard. I have some in mind too. Representative Trey Lamar worked hard on this road bill. Chairman Jeff Smith, Richard Bennett, Casey Ure, John Reed. These are the individuals who stood in the well of the House and handled these pieces of legislation. I also want to commend and congratulate those in the Senate who stood in the well of the Senate and took on questions and debate, like Senator Simmons, Senator Filligan, the others who worked on that end of the building. They're all to be congratulated and commended for their hard work. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest in this process. And I look forward to signing this bill, Governor. Let's do it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank the association's First State Chamber of Commerce, MEC, that has for years now been standing beside us and working hard. I want to thank the Municipal League. I want to thank the Supervisors Association, the Truckers Association. If I have not thanked you and you were here, thank you and thank you. To have those associations come together is so important. I want to thank Chairman Alice Clark, Representative Alice Clark, who is an inspiration to me. And each time she comes into the governor's office, the staff comes in and says, Alice Clark is here, bring her in immediately. She has a stick. She knows how to use it. She walks softly and carries a big stick, Chairman. And Representative Senator Willie Simmons. Senator Simmons has worked so hard. As he was there on the floor for nearly 5 hours the other day, young staff members came in and said, I just can't believe that Senator Simmons is there, still strong and determined. I said, well, you know, he did walk through Vietnam. Nothing else is a challenge such as that. Senator, my friend, congratulations. Now let's sign this bill. We don't have any workers' comp around here, so we'll take care of it. House Bill 1, Mississippi Modernization and Infrastructure Act. Time? 2:03.